This is Memphis, Tennessee, right?
Mom.
They won't let you take that camcorder on the tour.
They won't?
Nope, they'll send you back to the car.
Oh, well.
And we got a photo back here. On what? Here, you guys. Oh, I said that.
We toured the house today.
They're gonna stop here before too long. Policeman.
The children were nestled all snug in their beds, with rings of sugar plums next to their heads. And Ma had kerchief behind his cap, all settled down for a long. Oh wait, it's summer.
Watch.
There's Mom.
And Chad.
There's Chad. There's Chris with his head turned. There's Kathy. That doesn't look very good. Mom's asleep. Chad's asleep. Chris was asleep. And Dad's
I'm not asleep. And Kathy is writing stuff, I guess.
I bet this is the first time Sturzies were ate down in Tennessee. Wait a minute. Oh, our air conditioning's on. Where's Christopher? It's cool. Those are big rocks. It's actually like dinosaur teeth. Alright.
Fell down the first time.
You're slow, Christopher.
No, I had to get my roller.
Other credit problem, we say yes. Call the credit hotline at 1-800-716-6276. Whether you...
Renee.
You're not gonna record this, sorry. You're funny.
It is. Look, see the propeller things in the bottom?
What is it?
It's a boat thing. It's an aqua car. It's an amphicar.
Oh my gosh, that is adorable. Yeah, that is so cute. So you can drive it on land and in water? Amphibian? Yeah, they're amphibian. That's so cool.
Box, Kathy.
That's a big one.
I like it.
What are you filming?
Oh, there's somebody.
Left.
Turn your head to the left. Turn your head to the right.
Stand up, sit down.
Right.
Oh, you want me to run the wiper or no?
I thought it was
Under construction.
Give me your concept and I'll eat your feet.
Where do you want you, yellow? Give me red.
No, not for a yellow.
Can I get over to the right?
Come on, why don't we want to go to here then?
Because Callie wants a shower in a room so that we can take a good shower, since we haven't been able to take a shower since what, Friday?
No, I took. What's today?
Sunday. You're in trouble.
Could you play that back for us, Jen?
It's a nice earlobe, Mom.
Shake it off. Hello.
Christopher, up. Hey, you, up. Kathy, up.
Dad wants to talk about what we did yesterday. Here, these I don't need. Do I have all of them?
Okay, Dad, I think we're ready. Hey, you, up.
Christopher. Yeah. Name one thing you liked the most yesterday. Yesterday,
Laser.
wait a minute. Yesterday we were in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
And we stayed there. The hot side of yesterday was
The laser.
Cindy,
Laser.
Kathy,
Sleeping in the hotel.
sleeping in the hotel. Debbie, what was the hot side of yesterday?
Shower.
Shower.
Hey, Dad, what about you?
Chad, what about you?
Oh, definitely Laser Quest.
Mine was going to the Tootsie's. The Tootsie's, an old bar down in Nashville. A
Oh.
lot of old stuff on the wall.
I thought Planet Hollywood was pretty good, too.
Then we went what? Putt putt?
You went back down.
Ah! No,
Everybody went putt putting except me, and I was tired. I went back to bed.
yelp.
I stayed up and
Who won that?
Kathy,
Who won laser?
Christopher. Oh, you forgot Mom.
Mom won the challenge game with Putt-Putt.
By one stroke. Mom can really stroke really good.
I got
They
last.
closed Nashville,
I got
Opryland, so we didn't go there. And what about the boat, Deb? They said they had a private party.
It was chartered out.
It was chartered out.
Yeah.
So now we're headed to Pigeon Forge. We're going to stop at the Glass Bottom Boat and
It's called the Lost Sea.
Lost Sea, and I think we're going to go to the Science and Industry Museum
Energy.
somewhere over by that area.
Around Knoxville.
Oh, you forgot Dixie Stampede.
And then we're going to stop at Dixie Stampede when we get to Pigeon Forge. It's raining.
It was supposed to be so hot today.
It's going to be hot today.
The sun's out.
Okay, Jack. Okay, it's enough, Yep.
Oh!
Chicky Papa.
This guy's the guy away.
That Russian though. He was hilarious till the end. I think I
Here you go, Mom.
You can film out better because I'm going to be filming through that post soon. Oh, it's recording, I think.
Oops. I think I accidentally hit something. When?
My
camera's gone.
5 minutes ago. No.
An hour ago.
Just a minute, maybe.
Hey, that's my own. I'm gonna back.
Do we have the price on the window? Ah. Pigeon bird. Gatling bird.
Okay,
tell them that we like went through a fire? The fire alarm went off or something, or maybe I don't know, somebody stole something or something, and the alarm went off and they all had to evacuate. I don't think it was fire because there's no fireworks trucks all the time, right?
What a dork.
Over here, Chad. Over here. Chad, over here.
Don't film the monkey.
She looks just like me, so she is too.
They don't act like her.
That's good.
Because then we'd have two Kathys.
I'd rather have a monkey.
I'm not a monkey.
Shut up.
Does the camera want to drink?
Mmm.
There's Mom. Wave, Mom. There's Dad. Wave, Dad. He only has 3 fingers.
4.5.
There's Chad.
Who's holding the camera?
I don't know who is holding the camera. It can't be Chad, could it? Ah! One hand. All right, Chad.
I'm not a monkey.
No, Cindy.
Monkeys can't
Mom,
get
are you hungry?
You're recording.
Oh, drop the cheese.
What's it mean by that symbol?
Means warning.
It's going to explode.
It's a fire alarm. So don't come over here.
See, this is battery.
Okay.
$24.95, 1 to 4 people. That price right there. The microtel in, that says sweets though.
It's free.
There's a hillbilly hoedown.
Oh, cool.
Nights in. These are like $5 off.
Not even funny.
Wonder what those little ball things are out there for. Croquet?
It's not croquet balls, Mom. They have a line around them.
2-1.
Hear it.
Yes.
Probably saying no room. Didn't really plan this.
Yes.
One down in the back there.
What?
Mountain backgrounds and stuff like that. Fog and all that stuff.
Taking pictures of things.
Really? Oh yeah, you'd be amazing.
By top-rated company.
Quotesmith.com. QUOTESMITH. Quotesmith.com. QUOTESMITH.com. WIBK. Give us a call right now. This is like
Pull this thing down the second. So you get it very fast. There. Sleep. 30 feet away. It got really funny when
Mom! What? Please? Play me some... How's this sound good?
laptop and got all 200 MP3s on it. And you just decide which songs you want to hear.
You have to move on that transmitter.
You get on the internet.
Slow.
Yeah.
Slow. You go home or slow.
Okay.
Says what?
Where did it? Get Kathy?
There's a drawing for 25,000.
Never get back.
Chad. Yeah, last time I didn't have one jacket.
Kathy, that's why you're gonna stay with her.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah, but we'll find out how much
Earlier, this looks fairly. We're not.
Nice. Regency Hotel.
I don't know.
Regency Tower. Yeah. Must be.
You guys run up there to the front of the beach thing and see what.
There's Kathy. I see Kathy down over there. She's gonna go behind that tree. She's gonna run up on the beach. Oh, get her. She's so graceful. You see her?
Yelling, whistling.
I keep that. You won't ever.
Yes.
It's going this way. The sound this way, that way. Or spin though. Where's Sydney?
Over here. He's on the run.
could just do lemon and pepper chicken.
This is where we stay. We stayed in that room right there. And there's Cheesy Chad.
Dad, get a shot of that helmet.
Christopher. And Deppy.
I'm going out on the beach
Deppy.
now.
John, are we gonna leave? Okay, you guys, come on.
Can we go on burning?
That's good. Turn around. Turn around. Chad's senior year. We're at Myrtle Beach. We had a good time. We went and saw several shows on this vacation. We saw
Talking and making fun of us. I'm just joking.
they played laser tag
About 20 times.
about 20 times, Christopher says. You guys, what kind of shows did we see? Let's name them from the beginning.
Okay, come on, let's not.
Let's see. Was that one at Dollywood?
But it's trying to help you, huh?
Kids walked the strip twice, didn't they?
Oh, I feel like I walked it more than that.
There's the pavilion.
Oh, there's about 20 wings in this town.
20 of them?
No, actually about 5.
I think you're close to about 20.
20. There's another wing.
Take a left, Dad.
Oh, they're running cars out there too.
There's a fence, John.
I think one just went by.
2 of them.
got some mirrors.
Adam's mark.
I gotta get out of there, so they're just gonna keep walking. Shed.
Getting in cars. That's fun. Either that or driving through here and running into all those there and case cars. It's fun. I can feel it.
They just don't sound like the Hemis anymore.
Whoa. Whoa. Awesome.
They put a seat in the back of the car.
That is rare.
It's a new one. These were dated.
Welcome to our memory lane of motor cars. While closed, you can enjoy both our cars and memorabilia. And please, do not touch our display, or I might just have to pistol with you.
Oh.
Barney killing.
Oh, I like this little car.
There's one of the Urkels.
Yes. BMW. It's a BMW.
Yeah, we did.
That's a BMW.
We had one of these. And
Wasn't it a street cleaner?
we had an electric car.
That is.
Oh, the heck. Did that thing just the thing had a range of 50 miles.
See the STP uniform?
Yeah.
Yeah. See the little one in the back?
Yep. We have like 7 of those at home.
This thing have air conditioning.
I wish I would have kept it.
Why?
The old timer one.
It's a Ford. I didn't know Ford made this one. The Johnson boat thingy.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even push like Barbo's today.
Now I know why a lot of them. Shoot the rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like that. Oh, she looks real comfortable. Oh, that one song says, buddy, can you tell me how to get this out of second gear?
This isn't the real one, Dad.
Says don't touch.
No, it says ouch.
Oh. Oh my God, the tread's coming off the tire.
How would this air in there? Oh, I bet they got a tube in there.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any guys. I like the stats here. Just like the handle. Yes, kind of black light. Oh, that is cool.
Oh, hey, it does all kinds of different things, doesn't it?
It's even got this night shot stuff here.
Don't hit the barrel, please.
Hang around and go from there.
Go, 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 go! Go!
Go, 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 go!
Bad orders.
What was it? 1688?
On deck, Katie Philcup in the hole.
134, right?
New high school south of town. Oh, now we're going to make it.
Thanks to all of our corporate sponsors, Wranglers. Wrangler jeans and blue jeans. And your Wrangler shirt. With your Western vest with Wrangler. Wrangler wear. Big sponsor of the sport of rodeo and Iowa High School rodeo.
Catherine receives no time for
Big
broken
weekend. We
chatters.
thank them for
Next up is Savannah Allen. Then Katie
So it's time to move down to the bull riding event. And we'll be back to the team open in just a moment.
Allison's time was a 22.131 plus 5 for a total of 27.141. Now then we'll race.
Watch him!
Sept Van Land. The cowboy to go.
Kick him! Move forward and kick him!
Go, 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 girl!
And our next cowboy to go. Sydney High School bull riding, football, wrestling, FFA. Versatile line of cowboy. Getting ready down at number 1.
Didn't do anything stupid, didn't like that.
Captain's hat came off. She receives a no time.
Sept Van
Jackson
Land.
Fire
Cowboy.
goes up. Amy East in the hole.
Best today? Probably doing this grand entry.
Oh, thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob Ross.
Good thing
Rodeo
you asked.
Legend right here in Mobile, Iowa. Happy to meet up with you. Beginning of the 1999-2000 Iowa High School Rodeo. And, of course, our flag carriers today. The Iowa flag being carried by Kelly Bears. And Old Glory being carried by Miss Jean Island. And, of course, all led by our Iowa High School Rodeo Queen, Rebecca Johnson from Pacific Junction. And, of course,
I'll be in the potty and they'll be doing the national anthem or something.
Well, just stand up.
Trailers, also Laredo Boots, Carhartt, Corral West, Ranchwear, Resistol, Pro-Choice, Smith Brothers, and
This is
Camilla.
nothing compared to the one they did
Single body
at
deal with
Madison.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
Well, how come Kathy's not in there?
And the one for Madison?
In this one? No.
Well, she can ride it too there if she wants to. Girls can get whoever wants to. It always is. Every Yahoo and their brother has a horse race in the grand entry. Madison. I'm talking Yahoos that haven't ridden their horses all year long. It's drag about.
And then she's sitting right there.
You don't want to wear him out.
Ooh.
Time was 17.746, 17.746. Again. Plus 5 for a total of 22.135.
He's a member of the regular All-Star team. Justin, guys, please be ready. This is the last half minute to go. And that's off of the team opener. That team opener starts to gather up at the entrance gate. Get things sorted out. Start the team opener.
Should be happy with that garbage.
How many images can you get on there?
I can't go like, ah!
I like the guy doing that shit though when he was telling him. He likes to do reach in there, grab it, and he's like, you don't have to get the grab. And he knocks the car over.
Hey, we're lucky he didn't break a pool.
And he takes his head off, he scratches his head off. It was so funny. I loved it. We should have that on the video. Is this a hazard zone?
Chad's getting ready to go to college. Battery's low.
This cat almost likes me. It thinks that. Okay. Pity bag.
Anybody help get my pity back to his knee?
Yes. Oh.
You can take her.
Can
Oh
I
wait,
take
you
her?
wouldn't have room in your car. She's so big.
But she'd weigh it down and stop it from tipping.
Christopher, any last words for Chad
Last words?
before he leaves to go to college?
You should give him more hugs.
Cindy,
Bye.
Kathy,
I don't have any.
Mom's like, it's too early.
I guess that means no.
Keep
Why?
your head on straight and get along. Ow.
Christopher hits your room, doesn't it?
I think. I'm not for sure. What?
Kathy?
I think so. About what? You get my room.
Open
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Stay in the job.
Actually, it was my room in the first place.
There's a retard.
Whiskers. Whiskers. Because I have whiskers.
All over. Whoa.
It's like, I know.
Right touch.
Alright, well, we're getting ready to go. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.
There's a bump. There's John. Oh, there's a bump. I slow down. Damn it, John.
Dad, I think I'm spoiled.
Ryan's side.
Chad's side. Hello, everybody. Miss you guys already.
Chad, close your or Ryan's and open yours.
Open mine.
Open yours. You can tell who the housekeeper is here, can't you?
Isn't that nice? That's.
Chad's making his bed. Take note, Deb. I told him I wasn't going to leave until he got that done. He said he'd do it right now. And Mom. And Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Now Kathy's got a picture of you.
Yeah, my sister was wondering about you big time.
Yeah, I
Serious.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, that's her fault. I had the pictures ready to send.
One
Does
picture.
Mom take the fault, the guilt here?
He had one picture ready and we couldn't agree on number 2. So.
It's like shots of half my face.
He didn't like the ones I was going to send.
Okay.
And who's this?
This is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Say your last name again.
Twido. Now you have it on tape. And you
Play-Doh?
Twido.
Play-Doh.
He's going to a restaurant. He just says, I have a registration or a reservation for Rogers because that's his first name.
Don't you just love it?
That's pretty sweet.
Okay, Sarah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
We got.
What am I doing?
Oh, there you go.
I don't
You
know,
can be
we're
on
gonna-
here too.
I don't know what I'm doing. Just standing here.
Sit. Oh, turn.
Get your hand down. There you go. Much better. Pony out of control. Yeah.
Heavy.
Oh, it was probably Cindy, your
Yeah,
younger
the little
sister.
sister.
Because she's gonna try and ride him in the PB barrel seat. She's been be in control, Kathy. Sit. Kick. Kick him. There you go. Make him run. Use that whip on him. Use that whip on him.
Got in time 16.715.
That horse does not walk. Come on out! Nice! Go! Go! Kick him! Go! Woo! Nice.
Now, times 15.908. 15.908. What's up, Ellison Walkenauer, last contestant here.
That horse prances. It drives me crazy. Come on, hot shot. I thought she was gonna go on the left side. I'm like, no, what are you doing? Come on out! Woo! Go! Awesome. That was awesome. Woo! Go out! Awesome. I love the way that was turned. Woo! Go! Allison! Go! Oh, I love that.
Ellison time 22.436. 22.
Woo! Out!
Horses, rope, calf roping, and team rope. Cody Wright. Just didn't go right day, got out of time with him a little bit.
Go.
Held in time 15.970. 15.970. In calf roping, bull riding, and team roping. We like hunting, fishing, fast cars.
Sit back.
Gate
Go!
over here.
Kick him!
Go, Kathy.
Kick him! Kick him! Push
No
him!
hesitation there.
Hey, kick him!
Go, Kathy, go!
Gather time 17.334. 17.334. followed by Swan and Sandifer.
Come on, Al! Go! Go, go, go! Woo! Hey! Kick, push! Go!
Low.
It's alright, keep going! Come on!
Nice turn.
Come on, Al!
Oh, that'll be for 7.
He's got a good hitch yet to come on. Let's move in. Oh. It was close.
Ellison's time, 21.731 plus 5.
I'll get the rest of them.
Horse is going to just last
Do you hear that guy laughing? What is that?
What?
What you got?
Right, grab.
Oh.
Mom, I roped her. I can get her. I can be a cup roper.
It's terribly windy.
And we'll go on to Morgan Mercer will be on deck. Wendy Thomas in the hole. Look up, Con.
We're down the rough talk into the arena. Guess what they're not doing? Are you all ready for some stand? We got cowboys down here just itching to get down on 2,000 pounds of meat and try to ride them for 8 seconds. Hey! Rodeo Company brings some of the best to town at any rodeo. They brought their good race herd today.
23.012.
Get down on them. Get your ropes tight, but when that door comes.
Oh, what? What do you want?
A hug. Route.
Being destroyed or whatever.
Oh.
Kind of goes good with the...
Right by that horse in new reins and everything.
I like playing with Zoom too.
Just hot lap.
Oh my.
Or break, whatever.
I hope that gets stopped. He don't want to wreck. Someone did wreck. Don't have it, right? I'm at the very front of the pack. Don't run the battery down. It's just hot laps. They're just hot laps. What? Yeah, it is. That doesn't matter. It is hot laps. They announced over the loudspeaker while you were back there. Remember, guys, this is only hot laps. That'd be my dad. What my dad doesn't like is when people film through fences.
One, you're number 11 of John. Inside of row number 2, you're number 10 of Ashton Building. The first one Levi Smith. Inside of row number 3, you're number 9, Brad Hill. Well, they got got the 00 Ryan Gus out there too. This is your junior 7 car up there. On the inside of row number 3, your number 75, Danny Field is broken. The outside of row number 3, your number 11 car, Brian Calloway. On the inside of row number 4, we have your number 24 car, Leroy Johnson.
Hey Mom, if the two of them wreck, they all better get out of the car. They gotta all stop. Oh yeah. Raise.
No, I don't. Go ahead and run this next seat. No, I don't. I'll run the one we're up.
Yeah. 6-cylinder. I want this car, man. The light's gonna go off now. Oh, here we go. Oh. That number 3 is almost done.
Would you like some?
Number 3. That's a number 4, buddy. Where my dad's at? Your dad's gonna get third. I don't know. Oh, my dad's got 4th.
Get him! That was Chris, you're not having
Man. Tackle made in there by number 21, Chris.
Well, see, I have viral
Travis Bracewell, Gary, you're headed there by number 7, Austin. Get Austin. Dick Weller's in also on that tackle. Pick up on about 1.
I hope that you did. That's your cue, Becky.
Okay, give it here.
Girl, let's go!
My turn. I can do it there.
The offside against the Cats.
But the trick is, you have to have a quarter. You need to go.
Ball! Number on the snap. Wildcats will recover.
Oh, I should have brought my cap when we locked the
Travis breaks the ball carrier. Get in there by number 7, Austin. Get Austin. Number the ball, but recovered by the Wildcats.
What's the beginning?
Feet for really hot, that's gonna make your body rock. We've got the feet for really hot, that's gonna make your body rock. We've got the feet for really hot, that's gonna make your body rock. Come on, Chris! Get him!
He didn't get it.
Back to ball carrier, ran out of bounds at about the 30, going to be short of the first down.
Cover it! Get it!
That was close.
Ball goes out of bounds. Wildcats take over.
Nice try, guys!
Try!
Scream!
About the 34-yard line.
Hey, yo, go Falcons, go Big Green's in the house. Big Green's in the house. Hey, yo, go Falcons, go Big Green's in the house. Big Green's in the house.
Yeah, they're in the house.
And boo. Falcons are on the field. Bullshit. 1, 2, 3.
I'm tired.
Back will be deep for the Cats. Back to the front. Is tackle in his own backfield by number 86.
Fake!
You don't know what's the last person?
What?
She's so short, you stack together up and
Yes!
Steve,
We couldn't figure it out. We are now taking requests.
Plus for 40.
Come on, get him.
Oh, heaven forbid they get a point.
Beavers, gets back to Hollenbeck, and Hollenbeck passes back to Beavers.
Lean to the left. Stand up, sit down, fight.
Lean to the left. You lean this way.
Lean to the right. Stand up, sit down, fight.
I always get wrong. You sit down,
Our offense is awesome. Our defense dominates. Just like Kelly's crossing legs. Let's stand.
No, we can't be beat. The E is for exciting and the R is for rest. 5, 4, 3. We are the fastest. 3. We won the game. We won the game. We won the game. I'm sorry.
3. At their table that it made it special for them to be here today, because without their parents and aunts, uncles, and whoever it takes, and their coaches to bring them to practice and to be behind them, they would not be here today. So can we... And the invocation today will be given by Gina.
Again, welcome. We'd like to take a moment this beautiful Sunday to thank a higher being. If you'd bow your heads, please.
And now, for the reason we're here, and that's to recognize the 1999 Iowa Outstanding Amateur Athletes. Usually we go in alphabetical order, but our chairman for wrestling kind of whines a little bit, since he's a little bigger than the rest of us, and he got us down for a 3 count. We're going to start with wrestling with Lee Palmulak.
Since we've started doing a little bio book to kind of speed the process up with the number of athletes that we have, although we used to love to do it, sometimes the day would get a little long as we read through the achievements of some of these athletes. So as we recognize these athletes, we're just going to recognize them by name with a plaque. Pay attention to their accomplishments and achievements that are listed in their bio. Most of these kids are multi-sport, multi-talented people who are involved in student government, band, assorted activities in their community, besides being outstanding amateur athletes and the future of our high schools and colleges here in Iowa. My outstanding athletes in wrestling this year, if you'll all come up as I call you. 3rd and 4th grade from LeClaire, Clay Baker, and from Bode, Jordan Hassenkamp. 5th and 6th graders from Cedar Rapids, Joey Slayton, and from Emmitsburg, Justin Kerber. 7th and 8th grade from Oskaloosa, Brady Graham, and from West Burlington, Christopher Johnson, and from Jessup, Mac Reeder. outstanding athletes for wrestling for 1998-99 wrestling season. A little late. From Oskaloosa, Brady Graham, one of the outstanding wrestlers in 7th and 8th grade. Directions to introduce our guest speaker, Wade Chalice. Sports Illustrated said Mr. Chalice is one of the most exciting wrestlers to ever step onto a wrestling mat. Amateur Wrestling News selected him as the best middleweight in this half of the century. Dan Gable called him the greatest pinner that he's ever seen. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most wins and most pins of anyone in the world. He has won 15 national championships in all 5 disciplines of the sport: judo, sambo, folk style, freestyle, and Greco-Roman. Mr. Chalice is in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, the National Sambo Hall of Fame, has received recognition as the nation's Athlete of the Year, Coach of the Year, and voted the world's greatest wrestler by coaches from around the globe for pinning all of his opponents at the World Championships. He's authored 2 best-selling books on the sport, and his instructional videotapes are on the all-time bestsellers list. Currently, Mr. Chalice is the Senior Sports Manager for the Amateur Athletic Union at Walt Disney World in Orlando, where he resides with his family. This past year, he was named the Man of the Year by Wrestling USA, Man of the Year by the Amateur Athletic Union, and the National Sports Writer of the Year by the National Wrestling Media Association. Our guest speaker, Wade Chalice.
Thank you, Lee. Gee, that was the second best introduction I've had in a long time. The best one I had was a couple weeks ago. I was in San Francisco and I had to do a presentation out there, and the guy who was going to introduce me, he failed to show up, and I had to introduce myself. That was the best one. But that was number 2, Lee. And don't believe half of that, my mother wrote most of that. But it's funny, it was a month and a half ago when you had your caucuses out here in Iowa. Lee and Neil were in Orlando visiting the national office, and I was told before I left the other day to say my best for Mr. Bobby Dodd, our president of the union. He wanted to be out here. He's doing several other things this weekend, as he normally does. He and your board of directors here at Iowa for the Iowa AU, as well as President Dodd, I don't know how they do it, but they have a way of finding 25 hours in every 24-hour day. They do a tremendous job, and just this year, as most of you know, Iowa has surpassed the state of Indiana, or the Association of Indiana, as the largest AAU association in the United States. And you have spent a lot of time, and the board of directors over here, and the association chairs will make it all possible. Thank you. When I was talking to Teresa and Neil down in Iowa, we were talking about the Iowa caucuses and the system we have to go through of politics in America and the industry in general, and we were talking about our Constitution and history and how we got to this point. And Neil turned to me and said, "Wade," he says, "I got a question for you." He says, "You know, when we're talking about Constitution and American history," he said, "do you believe in free speech?" I said, "Well, sure I do. It's one of our God-given rights here in America, what makes us Americans." He says, "That's great." He says, "In a month and a half from today, I have you doing one." And as a result, here I am this afternoon. But when I talked to the board of directors, I was sitting over there a little while ago and listening to all these fine athletes come up and receive their awards, and congratulations, folks. I mean, we'll talk about this in a moment, about achieving and what it takes to give the time necessary to persist, to overcome obstacles, that are in your life and our lives to do the things that are necessary to come up here and receive the awards. And for that you are to be congratulated and a great applause and a pat in the back. But I was talking to the directors, I said, oh, you know, how did you select your guest speaker for today? And you know, they said, well, we went through a lot of lists and a lot of meetings, we decided different things. And what we wanted to do is we made a vote for our Iowa AAU Association people. We know they worked very hard for their athletes and for themselves to make the association special. And we thought we needed to do something special for them on this Sunday afternoon. So we decided we would go after it and make a phone call and see if we could find the most accomplished coach in America. So we looked around, we got the phone number, we dialed the phone, we asked the question, and unfortunately we were turned down. But not to be held back from achieving. We knew we had to do something special for our Iowa people. Although we couldn't get the most accomplished, we went back to the drawing board and we decided that we needed to get the coach that was the most intelligent in America. So we got another phone call, another phone number, we made the call, and for the second time we were turned down. Rejected, yes. Reduced a little bit, almost to tears, possibly, but we were going to persist. We were going to win for our AAU here in Iowa. So we decided if nothing else we could do is get the best looking coach in America. So we got another phone number, we made a call, and this time I accepted. I didn't have the heart to turn it down 3 times. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you do it often enough that you can get it right. You're going to fail each and every time that you try a new trade, a new sport, a new profession in life. But that's what life is. It is a culmination of a heck of a lot of failures. You're going to struggle, you're going to trip, someone's going to hand you the dirty end of a stick every now and then. And the people who achieve, who get the gold medal, become the best partner in the law firm, the best mechanic in the state of Iowa, the best teacher. The ones who achieve the most are the ones who fail the most. Because winning is failing your way to the top. Think about that for a moment, because that's exactly what winning is. It's failing your way to the top. It's persisting and doing something over and over and over again until you get it right. You're going to fail the first time. And you're going to falter the second and stumble the third. But it is the person and the people, the little young ladies and the young men, and some of the senior citizens were up here a moment ago, that kept on tripping and falling and getting up one more time. When a horse throws you, you have to get up, dust your britches off, and get back on the horse. One more time than the opposition does. And then you succeed. Success is failing your way to the top. Most people have heard of the name Babe Ruth. It's been bandied about recently with Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa hitting a lot of the home runs. And we know Babe Ruth for his ability to knock the ball out of the park. But he only has one record in Cooperstown in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And that record is the most strikeouts. Babe Ruth stepped to the plate more than any other baseball player in the history of the sport, and swung and swung and swung some more, and sat down dejected often. He has a record, the most strikeouts in the history of professional baseball. But he also has been known for hitting a few out of the park as well. And the legend continues to go on, the legend of Babe Ruth. He failed his way to the top. When would you have quit? When would you have sat down? When would you have tried another career? Can you imagine the people in the stands, what they would say? Hey, Babe, sit down! What are you gonna... They would be making fun of him because he would step to the plate and swing a lot. But he persisted. He kept on keeping on. He stood up when he didn't want to stand up. When people would make fun of him, it didn't bother him. He was the Babe. He was going to do it right. Sooner or later, he was going to do it right. And he failed his way to the top as a result. If you were a quarterback in the NFL, let's say you took a snap from center and you faded back into the pocket and you threw the football, and 1,500 times it went high, it went low, to the left, to the right, through the receiver's hands, and they were incomplete passes. When would you have quit? Would you be playing football today? Would you be on the bench? Would you be in a professional outfit? How good are you? If you Went back from center 2,000 times and had incomplete passes 2,000 times. Are you an all-pro quarterback? Are you a star? When would you quit? Could you imagine the booing you would hear? 2,000 snaps, 2,000 incomplete passes. But that's exactly what Joe Montana had for the San Francisco 49ers. Arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the sport today, along with Elway, Marino, a few others, but certainly one of the very, very best. But he also had 6,500 completed passes to go along with the 2,000 incomplete. If you broke that down into numbers, he was probably 3-1-0. Didn't have an undefeated career, but he failed his way to the top and persisting. And that's what success is. And what athletics teach each and every one of you is to get up one more time, to dust yourself off and get back on the horse. You're able to see me today because there's no windows in this room because of a thing called a light bulb. And that was Thomas Edison. Do you know he spent 3 years, 2 months, 1 week, and 3 days in his laboratory, marrying gases and elements, putting them into a little glass tube, connecting it to a wall socket, and 1,006 times that glass enclosure exploded. 1,006 times over 3 years, every day, trying to get it right. When would you have quit? Tommy, give it up. You're not going to make it. Every day, every month, every week, over 3 years, 1,006 times of failure. Would you have tried it 3 times and quit? 52 and quit? 106. When the wife threatened to leave you because you're never coming home, when would you have given up your dream? On the 1,007th time, he got it right. He only did it right once. If it was an athletic record, his record was 1,006 losses, and 0 ties. Winner or loser? Achiever? Underachiever? You know the answer to that question. He kept on keeping on when anybody else and everybody else did quit. And that's why we're able to see me and I'm able to see you. And he was one of the greatest inventors of all time because he persisted. He failed his way to the top. The Old Man and the Sea was a famous novel written by Ernest Hemingway. It was one of his first novels. He went to 56 publishers. 56 people threw him out of their office, saying the book is no good. But he knew it was a good book, and he persisted. And on the 57th time, the publisher said, yeah, maybe I'll give it a try. It might be okay. And the rest is history. It's one of the classics, The Old Man and the Sea. But he failed his way to the top. He persisted. He didn't take no for an answer. He overcame. His record, it was athletic, 1 win, 56 losses, 0 ties. Achiever, underachiever. And you know the answer to that. Sir Edmund Hillary was the first to fail the most because they try the most. The people who try the most succeed the most. And in that, you're going to have to fail a lot. And what makes us winners, and what makes you young athletes want to come up here, is overcoming, persisting, getting up one more time. Now, if you're in the combative sports of taekwondo, karate, aikido, wrestling, and so on, when the horse throws you, when you get up and you finish dusting yourself off, hit the horse, then get back on it, and say, don't you ever do that again. But basically, folks, in your head, we have 6 inches of real estate located from here to here, between your ears, 6 inches of real estate. It's the most fertile, if it was like a garden, the dirt that's in there is the most fertile dirt on the face of this planet. Anything that you hear are seeds that go into your mind. And those seeds, whether you like it or not, are going to grow. And if you throw poison ivy seeds into a fertile plot and you give it sun and water, you're going to have poison ivy plants. You plant corn, you'll have corn. You plant world championship roses, you'll have something that's sweet and gorgeous to look at. Anything that hits that soil will grow. And our mind is just like that, fertile soil. And we have 6 inches of it right between our ears. And you are what you are. You are who you are, and who you are and what you are is because of who you've been around, what you've read, and what you've observed. You have the choice to control. You know, my mother, when she was talking about winning and losing, said, you know, I have some good news and bad news. When I was training for the Olympics, when I was training for the World Championships, when I was training in high school just to be a state champion someday, she said, you know, there's some good news and bad news I have for you. The good news is, it's up to you. You make that determination. You make that choice whether you want to be state champ, world champ, Olympic champ, most successful lawyer in the business, valedictorian. It's up to you. You make that choice. That's the good news. And with that comes bad news. And the bad news is, it's up to you. You make that choice. You have to determine what you want to do, when you want to do it, and you have to get around the right people. You don't go to a mechanic to ask him how to fill out a will for the day that you leave this earth. He doesn't have a legal background. You don't go to a doctor to put on the muffler on your car. They don't understand how. You go to the people who have done things that you want to do, gone to places that you want to go, and achieved the things you have yet to achieve, but you'd like to achieve. You go to those individuals and say, how'd you do it? How'd you win that medal? How'd you become the best lawyer in Des Moines, Iowa? How did you become the valedictorian? And you listen to the answer, and then you follow the directions. Each of us like to say, I did it my way. You want to do it your own way. You want to be an individual. You want to stand out. And that's okay. We want you to be individual. But every now and then, you'll run across a gentleman, a lady, who has been there and done that, and achieved what you have yet to achieve, but want to achieve. And when you do, you're in a great position to learn from a master. You get around people who have done those things, ask the questions, and then listen to the answers, and then follow the map. Now, I can give you the directions to my home, and everybody in here would find it, because I know where I live. And you can do the same for your house, and I could get to your house. But if I would ask you to give them the road map to my house, you wouldn't have a clue. You might think Orlando, but that would narrow it down a little bit. And all I'm trying to get around the point is, you ask the person who knows what he's doing, or in this case, where my house is, to get the directions to go there. If you want to be a state champion in any sport that you're in, you get around other state champions, national champions, All-Americans, coaches who have coached All-American, state champions, national champions, people who have done the things that you want to do, gone to places you want to go. And you ask them, how do I get there? And when he says, you go down to the road here, and when you come to the Y in the road, take the left fork, and then you're going to come to a T. Make sure you take a left at that T, and that'll get you to the state championship. Now, when you come to that Y in the road, don't say, well, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to be an individual. I'm going right. Watch me, I'll still win. And when I come to that T in the road, I'm going to take a right. He said left, but no, I'm going to do it my way. I'm taking a right. Well, guess what? You're not going to get to the person's house who gave you the directions. And if you decide to go east on 80 and you want to end up in San Francisco, you'll get there. But you'll have a long way around the globe to get there. You have to make a decision on which way you want to go. You don't ask a loser how to become a winner. Why? If he knew, he'd be a winner himself. Or she would. Get around people. You want to put fertile soil or seeds in your mind. When you get around negative people, guess what? You become negative too, because negative seeds will grow just as well, just as wonderfully, just as efficiently as positive seeds. You get around people who are achievers and doers, and you too become an achiever and a doer and a winner. You want to be a great wrestler? What did I do in '76? I left Pennsylvania. I went west to a place called Iowa City. Don't know why. You might be able to figure out why. I wanted to be around the best. And for a year and a half leading up to the '76 games, where Dan's shadow was, I was standing. When he ran, I ran. He worked out, I worked out. Damn near killed me. But I knew you had to get around the best. And that's your job, folks. To put your children in a situation where they can win because they get around winners. That's your job. That's their job. When I decided to be the best, my mother said, close your eyes. When I was in 11th grade, I was going to be I was undefeated the year before, matter of fact. I was 12-0 with 10 pins. I thought I was pretty good, but that was on the JV. I don't tell too many people that in 10th grade. I think I broke it. Anyhow, and I thought it was good enough. I ran when the coach said run, and I lifted when the coach said lift, and I climbed rope. And matter of fact, if I climbed rope, if you put all the rope together that I could probably climb to a moon and back. And if you put all the plates together in one big mass, and I lifted up over a lifetime, it was probably something the size of the planet Pluto. And I could have ran around this world of ours a couple times. Anyhow, I trained, and I worked, and I thought I was a decent athlete, but I wasn't a winner. And I said, Mom, what do? I'm not varsity. Darn it, I know I can win. And she said, you know what? I've been waiting for you to ask this question because when being parents, it's tough teaching your offspring. She goes, if you didn't ask the question, I couldn't answer it. I could tell you last year, I could tell you last month, but you wouldn't have listened because it was coming from mother. Okay, but now you ask the question, now I can give you the answer. The reason why you weren't state champ is because you've never said you wanted to be a state champion. You've never said it. You've never decided that's what you wanted to do. And if you don't know what side you want to get in the car and go to Orlando from here, you haven't got the map out, you haven't figured it out, got around the right people, so you didn't get to Orlando because that's not where you wanted to go because you didn't know where you want to go because you never made a decision, and that decision is called a goal. We want a goal. A dream. It's the same thing, dream, goal, I'm going to do this. And she said, when you decide you want to be a state champ, when you decide you want to be varsity, guess what? You will be. Really? She says, because, I know exactly what you're thinking. You don't want to make a goal right now, do you? Why? Because if you don't achieve it next year, and you didn't get to where you said you were going to go, you're going to think of yourself as a loser. Guess what? Failure is an event. It's not an individual. I went, huh? She goes, no. Failure is an event. It's not an individual. I think I understand, but I don't. And I said, I was always afraid of making a goal, having a dream, deciding I was going to do something. Because if I didn't get there, damn it, I was going to be a failure, or a loser, or underachiever, or something. I said I was going to do this, and I didn't get there, and that means I wasn't smart enough, quick enough, talented enough. Something was amiss with me. And it took her a while to get in my head. She goes, set a goal. Sit down right now. We're in the living room. Sit down. Close your eyes. Tell me what you want to do next year. Tell me what you want to do in 2 years. Let's make a determination right now. I closed my eyes. Failure is an event, not an individual. Failure is an event. I don't believe that. Failure is an event, not an individual. Anyhow, and I went, and I didn't. And she goes, you're still afraid to make a decision, aren't you? I went, yeah. She goes, I'll make a goal for you. I thought, well, I like this. Yeah, you make a goal, because then if I don't get there, it's your goal. I didn't make a promise myself, so I don't get there. I'm not a loser. I just, go ahead, Mom, give me a shot. What are you going to do? She says, I'll make a goal for you. I went, okay. She goes, close your eyes. I'm ready. And the year was 1968. I was just ready to go into my junior year in high school. She goes, guess what? 8 years from today, I want you to close your eyes. You're going to be wearing a uniform that's going to be red, white, and blue. And in front of you on your left hand, you're going to have a dowel rod that's 8 feet long and 1.5 inches thick. And you're going to be holding it out in front of you. And attached to that dowel rod at the top will be an American flag. And you're walking in the tunnel of the opening ceremonies of the Olympics in Montreal. And behind you are going to be 482 other athletes wearing red, white, and blue, because you have just been voted the captain of the United States Olympic Wrestling Team, and voted by all the other athletes from all the other venues as the most prestigious, the most respected athlete in America today. And they have elected you to carry the American flag, as Bruce Bumgarner did for us, being from the sport of wrestling in '96. And you're going to walk into that opening ceremony. Now I want you to keep your eyes closed. And she walked me through the opening ceremonies, coming through the tunnel, taking a right, walking around the 400-meter track. She said after the 14th step, you're going to look up to the right. About 80 rows up is your mother and your father, standing there with tears in their eyes, thinking about how proud they are of what you've achieved and what you have yet to achieve. And walking around and seeing 110,000 faces in the opening ceremony in the stands, cheering all the countries of the world, all the colors of the flags and the uniforms and the people of the world, and how special it is. And then she took me into the arena where we were going to wrestle, and she had me picture 8 mats out there in red, white, and blue, and blacks and greens, and the circles, and I could see all the colors represented of the world and all the people there. And then she told me match after match, the first, the second, the third match, and each one ended in a pin. First the Romanian, then the Yugoslav. Then I had a gentleman from Poland, and then the Canadian. And I worked my way up. She had me in the finals with the defending world champion from the Soviet Union. And she had me going through match period after period. And in the third period, I caught him. And I put him on his back, and I pinned him. And I had 7 matches, 7 pins, was named the outstanding wrestler in the Olympics in 1976. And she says, my son, that is your goal. Now go out and do it. Now, what? I was worried as a rising junior, just out the JV team, that she was going to say I was going to be district champion next year. I thought varsity, and please, maybe put me in the district finals, but district champ, That's going to be stretching it a little bit. And already I'm the Olympic champion. And I went, huh? She says, 8 years from today, somebody is going to be on that platform. Somebody is going to be winning and wearing that gold medal. Is there someone from Brazil more intelligent, someone from Japan that's more talented, someone, and she took me around the countries of the world saying, are any of these people have anything over you? Why not you? Someone has got to win that gold medal. Why not you? You can do it. Someone's got to stand there. And then she'd hand me, close my eyes once again, and take the step on the platform. She says, I want you to pretend that you're walking now, and you're taking step after step up the platform, up another one, and up another one, and now you're standing on the top platform, and just for a moment in time, you look around and you're the best in the world at something. And then you're going to bend over, and she had me bend over, and she made me feel the metal go around my neck. And when I stood up, I promised myself one thing I would never do on the platform. And then when I stood up, I could feel the metal bounce against my chest just for a second. And then I looked down. I thought, I would never do this. And I couldn't help it. I grabbed the metal and I looked down at the gold. And just for a moment, I blinked. Oh, shit. In front of everybody. No, it's Olympic champion, don't cry. You know? And just for a moment, I remembered, just for a second in time, I was the very best in the world, for a moment in time, at something. And the achievement of failing my way to the top. How many times did I hurt an ankle, twist a knee, have to lose weight, fall off the rope, drop the plates, get put on my back, the things I had to do to fail my way to the top. And then I said there, yeah. And then I looked at the medal again, and I remembered that the medal was so big, but you know, that medal's not really my medal. Yeah, I get a little 100 piece of that, but there's a third of it that's my mom and dad's medal. And then my coach gets a little bit, and the community that backed me and financed me to train to go here. And you know, I could list all the people that earned and owned and had a piece of that medal. And my piece was just a little piece. I was just a cog in the whole system. And you have to say thank you to the people, boys and girls, that helped you get there. You know, your mother and your dad sacrifice a great deal to get you to where you're doing, where you're going each day. They have to run home from work, change, jump into the van, throw you in, get you here, get you there. They sacrifice a great deal on your behalf because they love you. They want to see you achieve, and they want to see you fail your way to the top. And they're there to hug you when you win, and they're there to hug you when you don't win. And that's okay. Because you want to be able to come off the mat, off the court, off the field, and be able to look your mom or dad or your coach in your eye and say, I did the best I could. Because you compete twice every time you walk on the wrestling mat, every time you walk onto the field competition, the court. You play 2 contests every time. And you're going to come off 0-2, 1-1, or 2-0. And you know, one of those wins is up to you. You make that choice. And that's win-win. It's not the scoreboard. The scoreboard is one of the wins. Either you have more points or you don't. And we know what that means because it hits the newspaper the next day. And then the other win is a personal win. Did I do the best that I could? If I did the best that I could, then I won that one. There's times you're going to do your best and it's not going to be good enough. And you're not going to get your hand raised. You're not going to have more points. And that's okay. As long as you walk off the mat, the court, the field, knowing I did my best. You may have to have a defending state champ today. And you might be a first-year varsity athlete in a certain sport. And you're probably not destined to win. But at the end of 6 minutes when I wrestled, I would always say to myself, 6 minutes from now, sucker, you're going to do, 2 things are going to happen. You're going to remember my name, and you're going to remember my face. I don't know who's going to win in the end of 6 minutes, but you're going to remember my name and my face when this is over. And we're going to get it on. And that's what I promised myself I'd do. So, you know, each and every one of you can have a 500 season regardless of the wins and losses, your hands in the air or not in your air. If you walk off and personally do the best you can, the worst you could do is have a 500 record. You have 18 matches this year, you're going to have 36 match season. You're going to be 18-18, that means you didn't get your hand raised once, but you did the best you could. And if you do the best you could, that's all we can ask of you. And you know what? If you do the best you could, be able to walk off that mat, letting that guy know, letting that team know that they were in a scrap, that you're going to be the best athlete you possibly could be. You're going to be the best person you possibly could be. You need to get around the right people, though. You want to be a good academic student. When you run around with someone else who is a good student and good grades, that doesn't necessarily, they don't have pixie dust in their pocket. They pull out and they go, and they throw pixie dust over your head, and all of a sudden, you get to be smart too. Golly, I'm running with the right people. No, it's not that at all. Because when you run with the right people, they come across problems. They have challenges in their daily life. Things that happen on the court, in the classroom. A girlfriend might be breaking up with him. How does he handle that? How does he overcome the heartache he's feeling of his girlfriend saying, hit the road, Jack? Or not achieving or not passing. You watch you learn how to problem solve. That's what life is, problem solving, overcoming obstacles. And you get around the people who know how to do that, and all of a sudden, you'll learn how to overcome obstacles that you face in your life. You'll know how to pick yourself up and dust yourself off because you've observed other people who you know are achievers. And you can do the same thing in academics, you can do the same thing in business, you can do the same thing in politics, or in life in general, with your family, with your parents, with your children, or in athletics. It's all the same thing, failing your way to the top and overcoming. Now, I'm back on this podium, I'm standing up there with this medal around my chest, feeling just for a moment I did something special. And it was like, then I hear a scratching sound, and I look back and I see the technician over there keying up the national anthem. And then the national anthem was on, and the feeling just representing the red, white, and blue of America. And then all of a sudden you hear a squeak, 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 and you look behind, and all of a sudden Old Glory's going up behind your head. The American flag's going up, and there's other countries, the Soviets on my right side in second place, and the gentleman from Japan is in the third position. And to see the three flags, and hear the national anthem, she took me through my junior year in high school, sitting in my living room, the Olympics, the thrill of it. And I remembered that. All of a sudden, next year, districts was not really that much to worry about, because I had a dream. You have to set the goal. Most goals are not designed to achieve. If you shoot for the moon, and you miss, you only become one of the stars. It's so easy. Reach for the unreachable. Will you get there? No. Sometimes, yes, maybe, who knows? But I'll tell you one damn thing, folks. And I said that word because I want the little guys to go, he swore. No, pay attention on this one. If you don't make a decision, if you don't set a goal, if you don't have a dream, guaranteed, you'll never get there. No one in the history of sports ever stood on a platform and said, golly, hey Mom, look, I am pretty good, I won. Hey guys, look, I did it. No one ever realized they were pretty good after they stood up there. They knew they were good before they got there. If you don't think you're number one, you'll never stand on that platform. It's the 6 inches of real estate between your ears. And getting around achievers does exactly that. It tells you. They help you, give you the roadmap. They teach you how to get up and dust yourself off one more time. Do you know in the front, when you drove here this morning, you had a rearview mirror on your car? My coach taught me this my senior year. And I was driving to school with him, and he said, Wade, you know why this rearview mirror is 1/80th the size of the front window? I went, no. He says, because what happens behind the car is 1/80th as important as what's happening in front of the car. You have to spend 80% of your time, 80, something like that, looking out the front window. Anything that's going to happen to you, good or bad, is going to come from the front. And nothing bad is going to happen in the rear. And he says, that's exactly what you have to do in sports. Stop looking in the rearview mirror in sports. And with that, he reached up and he ripped the rearview mirror off the window. Whack! Threw it in the back of the seat. And when you learn to do that, you'll be a state champion. What happened yesterday, you can't change. That's history. What was in that rearview mirror? You already went past. That's the past. Decide to look ahead of you. You're going to lose matches. Your girlfriend's going to break up with you. Someone's going to run over your dog. Fine. Bury it, buy another one. Things are going to happen in your life that you're not going to like. That's in the past. If you spend time looking in the rearview mirror, it's going to steal time, steal energy, steal vision from what you're trying to do. As soon as you learn, I always believe in athletics, it's not how fast the great athletes, it's not how fast you learn, it's how fast you're able to forget. The great ones can forget the things that have happened that are unpleasant. I twisted my knee, my girlfriend broke up, I failed my English exam, someone hit my dog. All the things that can happen to you that distract you from the goals that you have set for yourself, the dream that you have of the future. And when you start paying attention to what happened yesterday, you're not going to be able to move forward. You look over your shoulder running a 100-yard dash, 100 meter now it is today. Guess what? The guy beside hands you a bunch of lemons, make lemonade. When David, who was an Israelite, had a Philistine he had to do battle with named Goliath, he had a choice of two. He could take a look and say, whoa, big dude. Yeah, that'd be the negative way of looking at it. But David probably said, of course I wasn't there, my older brother was though, he told me about it. I wasn't so afraid, David said, because he was so big. How could I miss him? How could I miss him? He was so big. That's what a winner would do. He took the lemon, made lemonade. He didn't say, at his size. He said, I can't miss him. You have to overcome. You have to take the negatives. Every negative you run into, there's a positive somewhere. Every negative. You guys ever been to an away match in football or football game? The crowd like you? No. Away basketball game, away wrestling match, whatever you're doing, when you're on the road, they don't like you. That's why 75% of all NBA, NFL, and professional baseball games end in a loss for the visiting team. They're not sleeping in their own bed, they're on the road, the crowd's not really favorable to them. They're having to go through the negative of being on the road. I knew that. I didn't want to lose on the road because the crowd didn't like me. When you have to come wrestle in Iowa, I've been in Hawkeye Arena, you know, in uniform, out on the mat. Not a friendly crowd, if you're not wearing black. When I used to ref up there, not a friendly crowd ever when you're refereeing. But anyhow, the idea is I knew an away crowd, it was going to be scary. So I took the negative and I turned it around in my head. I said, how can I make a away match a positive? And I said, you know, why does my mother yell at me when she does every now and then? Well, it's because she loves me. Why does my coach yell at me? Well, it's because he wants to see me achieve. He wants to see me overcome. He wants to push me to that next level. Well, my mother loves me and she yells at me. My coach loves me, or wants me to succeed because he yells at me. I guess when I go to the away games and everyone's yelling at me, it's because they love me and they want to see me succeed. Made sense to me. So the louder the opposition got, the more the crowd booed or yelled or made remarks. It's because they love me, they're taking energy out of their day and out of their lives to share with me. And they wanted to see me do good. Now, is that true? Heck no. But I believed it to be true. So I took the negative and turned it into positive. Found the lemons, made lemonade. Took it after David and said, can't miss that sucker, he's pretty big. But you have to take the negatives and overcome. That's what getting around winners, achievers will teach you to do, people. Get around people who have done the things you want to do, gone to places you want to go, achieve the things that you want to achieve, and you too can win. It's up to you. You need to persist. You need to get on the horse one more time. When I first spoke, my very first time I ever got in front of a crowd, I said, Mom, what do I do? My mother's a medical doctor. She teaches it the last 50 years. She was a professor at Penn State University and recently retired, and quite a lady. And I said, Mom, you spoke all the, well, what do I do? And she says, well, you have to be yourself. You know, that's probably the most important thing. I can't tell you, because you're you, and I'm me. And anything I tell you would be off. She says, but there is 3 things that you have to do. And given the day and the way the order of events were, from the awards to the guest speaker to the food, I think it's most apropos. She said, you have to do 3 things. First of all, you have to speak up to be seen. I think I've done that. She says, you have to stand up to be seen. My mother said to me, you have to stand up to be seen, you have to speak up to be heard, and she says, number 3, then you have to shut up to be appreciated. And with that, I'd like to say thank you. Congratulations on being the #1 association in the United States. Congratulations to the youngsters who are up here. Thank you on behalf of myself, our national staff in Orlando, and President Dodd, and your board of directors. I believe earn another round of applause for all the time they put in. Thank you and enjoy.
What we're going to do is we're going to change events schedule a little bit so we can get on to the dinner portion of it, and we'll announce some of the other awards while we're having dinner. But I'd like to recognize the 17 and under AAU girls basketball.
Right. Take care. That's fine.
case that one didn't turn out. One, two, three.
The early 60s. You may have noticed in our program today the past recipients, and they're quite an illustrious list of people, from Dan Jensen, basketball player, to Rex Harvey, perennial winner in the decathlon at international levels. Everyone knows Kevin Little, who is currently one of the top 10 competitors in the 200 meters internationally. He's from Ankeny. Last year's winner was Rafe LaFrenz. 1997, we saw Troy Davis from Ames, who's gone on to professional football fame. Vic Young was a great supporter of amateur athletics in Iowa in the 60s and 70s. He owned a sporting goods store, and from what I understand, you had to go to his store to purchase your AAU membership because it was sort of the unofficial headquarters for the AAU in Iowa. So this award has been named in his honor. For our award, we put together an ad hoc committee of local media and sports writers who come up with a list of nominees. And our voters, a list of 30 voters, we take from a who's who list of sports people throughout Iowa in college and high school staff positions and coaching positions, from throughout the state, different sports media, print media, and television, as well as a good contingent of our AAU staff working directly with amateur athletes. So we have a list of 30 voters. Our finalists for this year were Lincoln McElravy, former University of Iowa wrestling national champion, and in 1992 he was a gold medalist at the Pan American Games. Stacy Freese, an Iowa State University basketball player. She's all Big 12, and she led the Cyclones to the Sweet 16 at the NCAA tournament last spring. Nick Collison, our third nominee, was former Iowa Falls High School athlete, and he's a three-sport star, leading his team to the state tournament in football, basketball, and baseball. He was All-State and a McDonald's All-American in basketball. Also, J.R. Koch, a former University of Iowa basketball star. He's now with the New York Knicks, and he's part of the Iowa team's journey to the Sweet 16 tournament, NCAA tournament last spring. Dean Oliver, University of Iowa basketball player. He was part of the Iowa team's trip to the Sweet 16 last spring. Tammy Blackstone, an All-Missouri Valley Conference basketball player from Drake University. It will be for media throughout the state, but you will hear the first news today that our recipient for 1999 is Jamie Freese from Iowa State University. She won hands down amongst our 30